In the world of high finance, a fortune can disappear in the blink of an eye. But this wasn't an instant. This was one single long night. A night where the math just stopped adding up, where the entire system started to groan under its own weight, and the whole financial house of cards was about to come tumbling down. This is the story of how it all unraveled.
It all kicks off with these two words, tucked away on a USB drive. It's a cryptic warning handed over by a man who's just lost his job to the young analyst who's still there. He has no idea yet, but that simple warning, it's about to change absolutely everything.
The day starts with a massacre, a corporate culling. The firm is downsizing, and out on the trading floor, the mood is just grim. You can feel it. Careers are being wiped out, one desk at a time. Picture this, human resources, with security guards right behind them, just moving from desk to desk. People who have been there for decades, their entire careers, gone in minutes. Company phone, dead. Email access, cut. Building pass, deactivated. 1 minute, you're a critical cog in the machine. The next, you're on the street. So, as he's being escorted out of the building, the now fired head of risk management, Eric Dale, he slips this USB drive to a junior analyst, a kid named Peter Sullivan. You have to wonder, right? Was this a final act of professional duty, or was he just lighting the fuse on his way out the door? Later that night, in this huge, empty office, Peter Sullivan plugs in the drive and opens the file. And what he finds, it's like a ghost in the machine. A fatal flaw buried deep in the firm's own math that's big enough to bring the entire 100-year-old company to its knees.
So here's the problem Peter uncovers. The firm's entire money-making engine runs on trading these things called mortgage-backed securities. You know, these incredibly complex assets made of thousands of bundled-up home loans. Their whole model, their whole strategy assumed that the market swings, the volatility, would always stay within the lines, within historical patterns. But what happens when history is no longer a guide? What happens when the patterns are just wrong?
Peter's analysis shows the firm hasn't just neared its risk limits. It has blown right past them, over and over again. For weeks, they've basically been flying completely blind, totally exposed to a level of risk their own models said was impossible. The safety net was already gone. They just didn't know it.
And the math is just simple and brutal. If these assets they're holding drop in value by just 25%, which Peter's model now shows is not just possible but likely, the loss would be bigger than the entire market cap of the company. Poof! In a single blow, the firm would just cease to exist.
But here's the thing that really keeps you up at night. The problem is so much bigger than just this one firm. Peter realizes this same, now broken formula is the foundation for $8 trillion in assets held by banks and funds all over the world. The fuse isn't just lit under his company, it's wired to the entire global financial system.
This discovery, it just sends shockwaves up the chain of command. It's a frantic, late-night scramble. Executives are literally pulled out of fancy dinners, woken up in their beds. They all have to get to the office for a 2 a.m. emergency board meeting. And finally, summoned by the crisis, the CEO himself, the final boss, arrives by helicopter.
When the CEO, John Told, walks into that boardroom, he breezes right past his top executives. He wants to talk to the guy who found the problem. And it's not some finance whiz, it's Peter, a literal rocket scientist, an engineer who even admits the only reason he's on Wall Street is because, well, the money here is considerably more attractive.
Told just cuts right through all the noise. He doesn't have time for the complex jargon. He wants this catastrophic problem explained in the simplest terms you can imagine. He's a pragmatist. He needs the raw, ugly truth, and he needs it right now. After Peter lays it all out, Told offers his own chilling metaphor. He says, look, for years, everyone in this business has been at a massive party. The music's been playing and everyone's been making unbelievable money. But now, he's standing there and he doesn't hear a thing. The music has stopped. So the question isn't what's happening anymore. The question is, what do we do about it? Tould boils it all down to his core philosophy. There are 3 ways to win in this business, he says. You can be first, you can be smarter, or you can cheat. He claims he doesn't cheat, and being smarter, well, that's damn hard. So that really only leaves one option on the table, and a decision is as brutal as it is simple. They have to be first. They're gonna sell everything. All of it. Every single one of these toxic assets, right now, to anyone who will pick up the phone. They have to get out the door before the rest of the world even realizes the music has stopped playing. Okay, but how do you get your traders to knowingly sell poison to their own clients, to burn relationships and reputations they've spent their whole careers building? Simple. You make them an offer they just can't refuse. A one-time bonus of $1.4 million each, even more for the managers. All they have to do is sell off 93% of their holdings in one day. The plan is just ruthlessly efficient. 6:30 a.m., the traders get their briefing. The second that opening bell rings, they hit the phones. Outgoing calls only, no questions asked. By 11 a.m., it all has to be gone. The goal is to unload everything before the market catches on that they're being sold garbage for pennies on the dollar.
The head of the trading floor, Sam Rogers, a guy who's been at the firm for 34 years, he knows exactly what this means. This is a total betrayal of their clients. He tells his boss straight up, "We will never, ever sell to any of these people again. The firm's reputation, it's going to be toast." But the order stands. The firm has to survive.
And by the end of the day, it's over. The fire sale is done. The firm has taken huge, staggering losses, but it's still standing. It survived. But in the process of saving itself, it knowingly passed on that catastrophic risk to the rest of the market. And now, all that's left is for CEO John Told to reflect on the wreckage.
In the end, Told is completely unapologetic. I mean, you'd think there'd be some remorse, right? Nope. For him, this wasn't immoral. This was just business. It's the same cycle of boom and bust, of greed and fear that's happened forever. His firm didn't create the storm, he argues. They just found the escape hatch first. And to prove his point, he starts listing off financial crises going back centuries. The Dutch tulip bubble in 1637, the dot-com bust in 2000. For him, this disaster wasn't some shocking, unique event. It was inevitable. It's just what money does. And the percentage of people who win and the percentage who lose, he says, that never really changes.
So the firm saved itself. They were the first ones out the door. They passed all that fatal risk onto so-called willing buyers, the rest of the world, who had no idea they were buying poison. And that one sale on that one day triggered a domino effect across the entire global economy. Which really leaves us all with one simple, chilling question. When the music stops, who's left holding the bag?